Good morning everyone. This is the second revision lecture for class 9 physics related to second chapter, that is force and laws of motion. And in today's lecture we will discuss about the concept of Newton's laws of motion, that is Newton's first law, Newton's second law and Newton's third law. And also we will discuss about the concept of conservation of momentum and what is the application of conservation of momentum in real life. So starting from Newton's laws of motion. Here Newton's gave three laws. Total how many laws? Three laws. Number first, that is Newton's first law, also known as law of inertia. Law of inertia. Why this one law also known as law of inertia? Because in the statement of Newton's first law, the concept of inertia used. And just before explaining the Newton's first law, listen about the concept of inertia. Inertia means what? That is the ability of a body, or you say that the inherent property of a body by virtue of which or on behalf of which the body resists or oppose any change. Suppose you are pushing a body and body wants to remain in rest. It means when you apply just greater force than the resist force, then body can move. Otherwise, body will stay in stationary initial phase. Clear? So, inertia means the inherent property of a body by virtue of which the body wants to remain in initial phase. If the body is in motion, then wants to remain in motion. If body is in rest, then wants to remain in rest. If a body is moving along a straight line, then also wants to remain along the same straight line. So just see the concept of Newton's first law. Newton's first law, that is consisting the all three concept of inertia. According to this law, according to this law, when a body is in rest, then wants to remain in rest, and if a body is moving, if a body is moving along a straight line, then also wants to continue in the same direction, unless an external force is not applied, unless an external force is not applied. Here the concept of rest and the concept of movement along straight line. Here three concepts. Number one, rest concept, and number two, movement, and number three, straight line direction. Here the three concept of inertia is taken. That's why this one law, Newton's first law, also known as law of inertia. And just see the second law, Newton's second law is also known as law of force, or definition of force. Law of force. Why this one is having another name, law of force? Because in the statement of Newton's second law, the concept of force is clear. Just see the concept. The rate of change of momentum, or the time rate of change of momentum of a moving body is directly proportional to applied force. Clear? This is the Newton's second law. Here the concept of force is given in Newton's second law. That's why the other name of Newton's second law is what? Law of force. And the third, very easy and very important law, to every action there is always equal and opposite reaction in the whole universe. Newton's third law, that is action reaction law. You see, this is the Newton's second law, and this one is Newton's first law, and this one is Newton's third law. To every action there is always equal and opposite reaction. Clear? In mathematical form, Newton's third law, how representing? Just see the concept of Newton's third law in mathematical form. I am just writing in above here, no need to write in between the laws. Just see Newton's third law, mathematical form. F12 is equal to minus F21. This is the mathematical form of Newton's third law. F12, it means force on body 1 due to body 2. In some other book, that is explanation, this one representing what? Force on body 2 with respect to 1. So we can treat anyone, but the representation you have to explain what the value representing by the symbols. Here F12 means what? Force on body 1 due to body 2. Then F21, force on body 2 due to 1. Here minus sign means what? The direction of force just opposite to each other, and the magnitude of force, that is equal. So some numericals also can be asked on this formula, or some conceptual questions. This is action reaction law. Force on body 1 due to 2, that is equal to force on body 2 due to 1, and minus sign here due to opposite in direction. So two body, whenever applying equal and opposite forces on each other, then there is a concept of what? Newton's third law. And we are just standing on ground, Then there is a concept of Newton's third law. It means the whole weight of the body acting downward, then the earth or the floor on which we are standing applying a normal reaction on our body, that is in upward but equal in magnitude. That's why we are able to stand on the ground. So that's all. Just note down this one statement, and after this I will explain the conservation of momentum and derivation of Newton's second law. The formulation of Newton's second law, that is F is equal to ma, that is in your course, and conservation of momentum and recoiling, all three terms just after this. First of all, just note down, then I will explain. Just note down. Just see the derivation of Newton's second law. Derivation of Newton's second law or derivation of force formula. Derivation of force formula. Both having same concept. Just see statement 1. The time rate of change of momentum. The time rate of change of momentum. Suppose initial momentum P2, final and initial P1. This is the initial momentum, this is final momentum. So change in momentum, initial momentum, and this one final momentum. So change in momentum, very simple, equal to what? P2 minus P1. And whenever this change in momentum is very short, then this one representing by what? Del P. When the time interval during this change is also very short, then this one representing what? And if del T tends 0, then del P becomes what? dP. dP. So we will use what? dP, that is change in momentum, and short time interval, that is gt. So by statement or by definition, F is directly proportional to dP upon dt. Clear? This is the time rate of change of momentum. Very short change in momentum and very short time interval. And this is proportional to what? F. So F is equal to K dP upon dt, where K is a proportionality constant, K is a proportional constant. Then F is equal to K d upon dt, and P is equal to what? mv. P is equal to mv, because the measurement of momentum is what? Mass into velocity. That's why we are taking what? mv. So mass here constant term, so K m dv upon dt. So the rate of change of velocity, whenever taken, that is dv upon dt. So this rate of change of velocity means what? That is acceleration, that is km dv upon dt. But as we know, dv upon dt is equal to what? A. Then F is equal to kma. But by practical, K is equal to 1. By experiment, or you say that by practical, then F is equal to ma. Clear? This is the formula for force, and with the help of this formula we can define that is 1 Newton. 1 Newton when m is equal to 1 kilogram, when m is equal to 1 kg and a is equal to 1 meter per second square, then F is equal to 1 Newton. Very important concept. When a body of mass 1 kg moving with a acceleration 1 meter per second square, when a body of mass 1 kg moving with a acceleration 1 meter per second square, then the force applied on the body, is said to be what? 1 Newton. Similarly, we can define dyne also. When mass is equal to 1 gram and acceleration produced in the body is 1 centimeter per second square, 1 centimeter per second square, then the force acting on the body is said to be what? 1 dyne. So this is the derivation of Newton's second law. Just after this I will explain about the concept of conservation of momentum. Just note down this one. Just after the derivation of Newton's second law, or you say the derivation of force, the next one concept is what? Conservation of momentum. Conservation of momentum. Here linear momentum. Conservation of momentum. It means the total momentum of a moving body is always conserved when a body moving from initial phase to final phase, that is initially when two body here having different mass m1 and m2 moving with different initial speed. Here u1 must be greater than u2 for collision. This is the case for before collision, and here this is the case of during collision. m1 mass m2, and this is body A and this is body B. Here u1 is equal to u2 is equal to what? 0 during collision. And then after collision, here this one v1 body mass m1, v1 is the final velocity, and body mass m2 having b. Here v2 is the v1 is less than v2. v2 is the final velocity. v1 final velocity of body A and v2 final velocity of body B, and it is clear that the body whenever just collides, then their velocity changes. Before collision the velocity of body A is greater, but after collision velocity of body B is greater. Here the diagram concept, but the proof of the linear momentum conservation or conservation of momentum, very easy proof. It means we have to prove that total momentum before collision must be equal to total momentum after collision. This is the concept of conservation of momentum. It means the total momentum of a moving body is always conserved. It means the total momentum before collision the total momentum before collision must be equal to total momentum after collision. That is m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. We have to prove this one statement. m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. For proving this one, conservation of momentum, the initial concept we have to apply here two concepts. Number first, Newton's second law we have to apply here, and second, that is Newton's third law. Newton's third law means what? Action reaction law, and Newton's second law means the definition of force. And the definition of force means what? That is the rate of change of momentum of a moving body. So here FAB is equal to what? m1 v1 minus m1 u1 upon t, and FBA is equal to m1 not m1 m2 v2 minus m2 u2 upon t. This one is statement by Newton's second law. By Newton's second law, that is FAB and FBA. But by Newton's third law, FAB is equal to what? Minus FBA. But by Newton's third law, FAB, we are applying here direction concept, that will be easier for understanding, is equal to what? Minus FBA. Newton's third law, FAB is equal to minus FBA, and we have to prove the value of FAB and FBA, that is m1 v1 minus m1 u1 upon t, that is equal to minus sign m2 v2 minus m2 u2 upon t. Clear? And then tt cancel out from both sides. Then after this, the next one step will be to see very easy concept. Here m1 v1 minus m1 u1, m1 v1 minus m1 u1 is equal to, here minus sign, then this one becomes what? Sign changes, minus m2 v2 minus minus plus m2 u2. Clear? Then transfer this one from right to left and this one from left to right. So m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equal to m1 u1 plus m2 u2. Further rearranging, then write this one first and this one second. m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. It means total momentum before collision, that is equal to total momentum after collision. This is the proof of conservation of momentum. So just note down. After this, I will explain about the recoiling of gun. Recoiling of gun. Just see. First of all, just note down this one. Just see. After the proof of conservation of momentum, This one is the recoiling of gun. This is the application of conservation of momentum. It means whenever bullet fired from gun, then there is also concept of conservation of momentum. Here total momentum before firing must be equal to total momentum after firing. This is the case of before firing. Here mass of gun, that is capital M. So total momentum before firing equal to total momentum after firing. Here total momentum before firing, that is total momentum after firing. So here before firing, capital M capital U plus small m small u is equal to capital M capital V plus small m small v. But initially when the bullet is not fired, then bullet as well as gun both are in rest condition. It means u is equal to 0 and this is capital U, that is velocity of gun, and small u velocity of bullet. Both are in rest condition, that is in before firing case. So this one 0 plus this one also 0 is equal to mv plus mv. Clear? And this one becomes what? 0 plus 0 is equal to capital M capital V small v. So here small m small v, that is equal to minus capital M capital V. So we have to calculate what? Suppose we have to calculate the velocity of bullet. So small v is equal to minus capital M capital V upon small m. Here this is the formula for recoiling of gun. Now suppose we have to calculate what? Velocity of gun, then capital V we have to calculate. Clear? This is the formula for calculation of velocity of either bullet or gun. We can solve out for anyone. Here m is, that is mass of bullet. Here m is less or less than capital M, so V is greater than capital V. It means bullet whenever fired, then the velocity of bullet will be maximum because their mass is minimum. So to maintain the conservation of momentum, so product of mass and velocity, that must be equal to the product of mass and velocity of gun. Mass of gun heavier, so least velocity will develop in gun. It means whenever bullet is fired by a gun, then the person will also exert a backward force but in opposite direction. It means bullet fired in forward direction. This is the direction of bullet and this is the direction of gun after firing. Direction of gun and here direction of bullet, direction of bullet. Clear? After firing. So just note down all, very easy and very essential concept. After this I will explain about some multiple choice type question that is very important for your examination point of view. So just note down this one. Just see, some multiple choice type questions are given here that are a simple idea about which type of question can be asked in your PT2 or half yearly examinations related to physics, that is from first, second and third chapter, that is motion, force and laws of motion and gravitation. Here some examples. Just see, the rockets work on the principle of conservation of, as I explained, the concept of conservation of momentum and conservation of momentum. One example also explained about recoiling of gun, and rocket works on also principle of conservation of momentum. So option C is correct here. Clear? when you are just listening each and everything about our every topics lecture, then there will be no confusion, everything will be clear and easier. You see, second one, the acceleration produced by a force of 5 Newton acting on a mass, here m given, that is F given, and we are knowing the formula for force, that is F is equal to what, ma. F is equal to, F given what, 5, and mass 20 given, A we have to calculate, so 5 upon 20 is equal to what, A, so 0.22 ja 40 and 10 25 ja 100 meter per second square. This is the value of acceleration, but here unit is given, so we have to calculate the numerical value. Here numerical value is what, 0.25. So option C is also correct in this. Here in first C there is momentum, here in this one C also. And next one, in problem number third, just see, the inertia of an object tends to cause an object. Inertia means totally mass depending factor. Inertia can be measured with the help of mass, but always resist any change. It means opposes any change that occurs in the body. Here, to increase its speed, no chance. To decrease its speed, no chance. It means to resist a change in its state of motion. This is the correct answer. This one is correct, C. And then after this, last one, the unit of measuring momentum. Momentum formula, as I explained, P is equal to what, mv, and m that is measured in kilogram and v measured in meter per second, or we say that kg meter second inverse. So which one option is correct? Here second option is correct. Clear? In this way we can solve out any one numerical based on any one concept. It is very easy to select the correct answer among multiple choice type question answers, but only when you are just listening each and everything and revising all the terms as I taught in your previous lectures. That is, in revision lecture first, force, types of force, unit of force, relationship between MKS unit, CGS unit, and momentum. And today's lecture, that is Newton's first law, second law, third law, conservation of momentum, proof of conservation of momentum, and force formula derivation, recoiling, and then this one, what, multiple choice type question answer. So you will practice out on each and every topic that as I taught in your previous lectures. So that's all for today. Have a nice day.